I felt with my fingers, and I felt something really hard, pretty close. So she said, well, that's most likely the head. And from this point, it can go quite quickly. So I might not be able to be there at time. Welcome to the story of our unique Freebirth, here in our tiny house. This is a two-part series. I will share with you my perspective as the mother giving birth, and we have another video where my husband, the father, presents his perspective of supporting me and my daughter. Many of you probably think, is it safe to birth at home? Is it safe to birth without a midwife? Is it possible? Is it legal? These are really big questions that we can talk more about. Come inside. The purpose of this video is to share the story of our free birth and also to inspire all other parents and parents-to-be and really to every human on earth to really allow yourself to feel what you need and what you want. And when it comes to birth, what makes you feel safe and grounded, and what do you really need in order to feel safe? Because in my perspective, that is the single one most important factor of having a safe, pleasant, joyful birth. That you feel safe and that your baby feels safe. I knew from the beginning of pregnancy, and from even before pregnancy, I think, that I wanted to be at home, to birth at home, since I did not trust in the way of birth at the hospital. So the way they treat the women giving birth and the babies, I did not align with that, and I did not believe in that. I did not trust it. And also I had this just really strong feeling that I feel the most safe at home with my family and with the company that I choose. So in this very profound and delicate process of birth that I had not yet experienced, since this was my first child, I felt that it was very important for me to have people, family, relatives, friends that I felt really safe with. And also I had a lot of trust. I really trusted my ability to birth, and I trusted my body to be strong and healthy, and also that my child was strong and healthy. I did not do any ultrasound inspection during pregnancy, since I had the trust that my baby was safe and healthy and strong. It was something that I could feel in my body. And this is something that is up to every woman. I'm not telling you that this is the best way of going through pregnancy or going through birth, but I'm here to present another perspective on what is normal and what is safe and what is healthy. For me, this was a very healthy and peaceful and joyful home birth experience, and also all through pregnancy I really enjoyed it. So what I want to inspire you is to really feel what do you want and what do you need, and not just follow the instructions or what we are expected to do during pregnancy and during birth and all of that. You don't need to get yourself into a car in the middle of your contractions and go to the hospital and meet people that you have never met before that are going to help you with this process and be with you. It's not necessary. It's your choice. If that's the way that you want to give birth, and if you feel most safe in the hospital in the hands of the midwives and doctors there, then that is fully your choice. And then you should go there if that's where you want to go. During pregnancy, I had a feeling that I might not want anyone else present during my birth. I knew that I wanted my husband there, that he would be with me, but at the time I did not have a lot of close female friends or like really close female relatives. So my feeling was that, yeah, my husband can be with me, and maybe some female midwife if I find the right one. And I met this midwife, and I met a lot of different midwives, and I had this feeling, I don't really know if I want you to be there with me. I had this questioning of that. And at the same time, it was like my logic brain was like, you need to have a midwife there in case something happens. And that's a good thing, right? So since none of us has like any medical experience or knowledge about birth, we did read a lot of books about free birth, home birth, natural birth. So there came a day, my belly was getting really big, and my due date, like I had gotten a due date from the midwife I was seeing, who counted from like my last period before pregnancy. So that date had already passed with a few days. But I also knew when my conception happened, when our conception happened. So I could count from that date. So it was actually the precise date of when my daughter was born. So the date was getting closer, and my water broke. But the contractions did not start. They were like very subtle, very mild. So I just tried to prepare my best. I ate a lot of like nutritious food. I was feeling like I want to have chocolate, I want to have bone broth, I want to have chili con carne, I want to have pancakes. So my husband and my mother-in-law, who lived very close to us at the time, they helped me. They cooked a lot of nice food for me. And also I tried to stay active. I was feeling like I want to help my contractions to get a bit stronger. And when I was walking, I actually felt them getting stronger. But then they just cooled down again. So I went for about 2 days or a day and a half without any stronger contractions. And then we just slept through the night. And in the morning, I was awakened by my stronger contractions. So at this point, I knew our birth is starting. And I woke my husband up, and he was like, oh, it's so early. Can we sleep a bit more? And I was like, no, you better come up, and we're gonna have a child. And then he got up eventually. And we had some nice breakfast, and the contractions were strong but manageable. And I remember having like quite a lot of pain, cramps in my thighs and in my hips, like in the actual bone structure. It felt like it was like moving to get more open, and that was hurting. And we messaged our midwife, But we said, like, you can wait a bit, you don't have to rush here, it will probably take some time. So we waited a bit, and we just enjoyed a beautiful day. We had our breakfast, and Ruben supported me in different ways during the contractions. At this stage I could still like talk through them, and I could like have my eyes open and interact with my husband and my mother-in-law, and they were steadily getting a bit stronger. I remember that I had to like go inside with every contraction, that I had to like close my eyes and just breathe through them, and that I could not talk anymore. I remember that me and Ruben, we were playing some music, just singing and playing some instruments. I think he was drumming and I was playing the maracas. And I remember that I could sing through my contraction, and that it really helped, and that was such a beautiful experience. So that is something I can recommend. It worked very well for me. After this, I had a feeling that I wanted to go inside. We were still outside in the garden at this point. So I felt like I want to be more held by the house. So we went inside, and immediately the contractions went a lot stronger. And we called the midwife and was like, okay, now you can get here. And she was already on the way. But we told her what was happening, that the contractions were getting a lot stronger, and there was like a little bit of blood coming. And she asked me if I could feel anything inside of my yoni. So I felt with my fingers, and I felt something really hard, pretty close. So she said, well, that's most likely the head. And from this point, it can go quite quickly. So I might not be able to be there at time. So she was on the way. It was quite a bit to drive. And Ruben prepared inside with like a nice mattress on the ground, some blankets and pillows. And we had some help bringing like hot water and a lot of towels. So he really supported me at this point. The contractions were getting really strong. It was like, in Swedish it's called krystvärkar. It's like the last phase of the birth of the child, where it's like these contractions that really push the child out. And this was intense. At this point, our midwife was with us on the phone, but it was not so easy to communicate through the phone. And she was driving, and I was like having these really contractions very close to one another, so I could only speak in the pause. So she was helping me to go back into my body and to trust the process, and also that I could like switch positions. It didn't really feel good the way I was standing. I was standing on all of my fours, and I felt that I couldn't really rest in between the contractions. So I ended up laying down on my side instead, and having the support of Ruben to like lift one of my legs up. And at this point, I actually felt that it would have been nice to have an experienced woman with me who could help me to just trust, go even more into my body, trust the process, feel safe. Since this was the first time I experienced childbirth, I hadn't even witnessed anyone else give birth. like in real life. I had seen some videos, but since this was my first experience, I didn't really know what to expect. So first came like the top of the head and a little bit of hair, and then come the head, and then in the next contraction came the whole body. So Ruben took her in his hands. He like catched her when she came out, and then he gave her to me, put her on my breast, and there she just immediately started like screaming and moving a little, and she was quite blue, but she was immediately turning really red. So this made us feel like she was very strong and healthy. So that was a very nice experience. And at this moment we just was wondering if is it a boy or a girl. And the umbilical cord was still like inside of me, so the placenta was still inside. And our midwife was on the way, still on the phone, but we hung up and had a bit of our just family time present with our baby, and this was, wow, such a wonderful moment, so lovely. And my mother-in-law came and celebrated with us and supported us, and it was very beautiful, super beautiful experience. I'm so grateful for this. It felt like heaven on earth, really. So much joy and so much love, and so just safe and held by our home. Yeah, I love that. And I had a hard time moving at this point, so our midwife was trying to support us in how to help the placenta to get out, but eventually we actually waited for her to come and help us with that, and that was also really good to have her support with that. So it took about an hour until she actually came to our home after Leia was birthed, and then she helped with the placenta. And something that I had not known before was actually the contractions after, when the birth of the baby and the birth of the placenta was done. The after flow after waves of contractions, when the womb is like stretching back into its original shape. It has been so big to hold the baby and the placenta, and now it's like getting smaller again. So those were quite painful. I was not prepared for that. And also something that I did not know before was like in my yoni there were like a lot of small scars, tears, and these really hurt. Every moment that I had to pee, they really hurt. So I had some help with some herbs that I could use. So I washed myself, and I had some really good balms that I could use. And I think the herbs were rosemary and calendula. And I also had some help with really supportive herbs to drink, which was a lot of nettles. I drank a lot of nettle tea to support all my minerals and just get like force back into my body, or like support the force of my body, the strength. And also I had a lot of bone broth, which was great. Also to just re-energize and support. So I feel that this birthing experience, I'm very grateful for it. I'm very grateful for the whole process of pregnancy and birth. And it was such a profound experience and preparation for parenthood, for motherhood. And of course the motherhood journey is it still comes with a lot of challenges, but I feel that the home birth experience gave me a lot of trust and a very strong connection to my daughter and to my husband. So it really connected us as a family on a very deep level. And also I feel that I really bring with me this knowing of trusting my body, of trusting the process. Why I'm sharing this is because I believe that the way we treat pregnant women and birth, the way we experience pregnancy and birth, is really profound in how it affects both the life of the mothers and the fathers, but especially the children. It's the foundation of life. This experience, if it gets to be a safe and integrated and loving experience, then that is a really nutritious soil to grow our life from. Knowing that, I feel for if I am to give birth any more time in my life, then something I really have with me is the need of support. I feel super grateful for the support I had, and I feel like for next time I will call in even more, like in the time after and just all around. A lot of supportive hands and loving hands. So if you're not the one giving birth, but might have a pregnant woman or a newborn child in some of your close relations, then just know that your support is so important. Just give them some help with the dishes or the laundry, or give the mother a massage, or when some time has passed, you might even be able to help her have a break and hold the baby for a while, play with it. So if you feel that it would be supportive for you to have warm baths or more alone time in nature, or having a massage, or having just supportive conversations about the processes you're going through, both in pregnancy and in motherhood, this is super important, because we are really the life givers, and the way we nurture ourselves will be the way we nurture our children. My message is to all of you to really dare listening to what you really want and what you really need, and don't bother too much, don't care too much about what everyone else says. I mean, of course there were people like, oh, are you gonna birth at home? Are you a bit crazy? Or you don't want to have a midwife there? of course there were people like having their opinions and worries about this, and it was very important for me to trust that I felt and I knew what was best for me and for my child. So just always coming back to that, centering ourselves, listening to our bodies, listening to our needs, and let that lead you. Thank you for watching. I hope this was inspiring, and check out the father's perspective right here. Ciao!